NFL Total Access. My name is MJ Acosta-Ruiz. Former rushing champ Maurice Jones-Drew is here today. Super Bowl champ Cliff April is back with us, and they do not agree on how the Bears should handle their quarterback battle. That is a debate you need to hear. But first, this is a theory we need to consider. Oh, yeah, that Patrick Mahomes is only getting better. The former MVP, the $500 million kid, taking reps at Chiefs minicamp and delivering some terrible news to anyone who has to face KC this year. You have no idea what you're in for.
We always are implementing new stuff, adding new stuff to the offense, trying out different things here and there. And then I think you said it. I mean, we have these running backs that can catch the ball so well in the backfield, so why not utilize them? And with Clyde and Jared McKinnon, Darryl, Darwin, all these guys, they're really good at running and catching the ball and running routes in space. And so using them as well as using tight ends and using the receivers, obviously, that are so special. So I think you'll see a wide variety of stuff that we come into the season with, and that's what you want to be with a great offense.
Evolve or die. That's the basic premise of natural selection. A little intense, I know, but clearly the focus for this offense. Let's bring in our man in KC, Jeff Chadillo, with us. Jeff, you've been watching Chiefs practice, and you heard what Patrick Mahomes had to say right there. How important is it for this offense to get more touches and different touches to this group of running backs?
Well, it's crucial, MJ, just because you saw the Super Bowl, what happened when they were trying to go to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and had no other options. It was not looking good for them. So they spent this offseason trying to get wide receivers to come in like Juju Smith-Schuster and T.Y. Hilton. It didn't happen. Now they have to look at guys like McCole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, giving the ball more to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Mahomes realized this is the next step in his development. Most great quarterbacks only get 1 or 2 Pro Bowl receivers. He's had 3 for the last 3 years, so this is a big step for him, and I think he's ready to take it because he has to be the kind of quarterback who makes receivers better now.
Yeah, you know what? I would say this, and if we're talking about this offense and a way for them to get better, and we heard about the wrinkles getting the running backs out in space, I just say be efficient in the running game, right? On first down, get 4 more yards. On second down, get half of what you need to get a first down. On third down, convert for the first down. Then all of a sudden, your play-action pass opens up, and you can get Pringle and McCole Hardman down the field and all these other guys going. It'll open up, but you have to have a consistent, efficient running game. When the Chiefs played the Buffalo Bills late in the season and Clyde Edwards-Helaire went off for about 160 yards, we all thought the Buffalo Bills, not the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, we thought that they were going to be unstoppable. And they were until they couldn't run the ball in the Super Bowl. And so the key is to have an efficient running game to go with those explosive wide receivers to continue to help the development of Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to go in a little bit different direction. It's a copycat league, and teams were watching the Super Bowl, right? And it looks like there's a chink in their armor, and I'm talking about their O-line. Obviously that's something they knew they needed to address, but that's the big question mark for me and for them to take that next step because teams are paying attention. Pass rushers are licking their chops. They understand what can slow Patrick Mahomes down. And the KC Chiefs, they went in and addressed that, right? They went and got Orlando Brown. They went and got Creed Humphreys. They even went and got Kyle Long out of retirement. So they understand the value in that as well. And I think that's the next step for them, being able to protect this quarterback in big-time games to be able to win more championships.
I mean, you touched on it right there, Cliff, so I'll pivot this to you, Jeff. In order for all of this to work, like Cliff just said, Mahomes needs protection. We all remember him running for his life in the Super Bowl. So how does this revamped O-line look to you?
Well, Patrick was pretty optimistic about what he's seen so far. Obviously, they put numbers at this with a lot of bodies coming in, and they feel good about the flexibility they have as far as guys moving around if they have the kind of injuries they had in the Super Bowl last year. But he said the big thing he likes right now is the chemistry. If you walked in their locker room today, Patrick said you'd see guys who look like they've been friends forever. They get along well. They talk about stuff. They're really close already. So that's a good sign for this team. It's tough to do it on the field, but so far so good as far as that revamped offensive line.
You know, this is what I love about the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Because since 2018, Patrick Mahomes has been the quarterback that's been sacked the least. But it only took that one game, of course, the most important of the year. And the Chiefs were like, nope, we're going to get this together. All right, guys, thank you. And ironically, but also appropriately enough, Mahomes is sharing the Madden 22 cover with Tom Brady. Mahomes posting this on Twitter today with all the cover art there. That's just one of them. Posting, what a time. Indeed. We're going to get into that a little later in the show. Now, from those two quarterbacks to these two quarterbacks, Andy Dalton and Justin Fields, have all eyes on them in Chicago. Here's what Matt Nagy had to say about his rookie QB.
Justin's completely new, to this whole part. So for him, it's a lot more listening. But again, as they grow, they become more confident or have any concerns in a play, they get more vocal. And so what we're doing in our coaching staff, the offensive side of the ball, I think they're doing a really good job of tailoring all of this to those guys' strengths. And now we'll just have to kind of see and make sure that we're letting our guys play fast. That's probably the ultimate goal.
I've been in a situation like this before, and all I did was get better. So I feel like if you can control what you can control and come to work every day with a positive attitude and a want to get better, then there's no stopping you. And I think when that time comes, when I do get my opportunity, I just have to be ready for that moment.
We're talking Bears, which means, of course, Stacey Dales is joining us now to drop a little bit of that Chicago knowledge. Stacey, there's been lots of talk about Matt Nagy's clear message from last week, I believe. Andy is our starter. Justin is number 2. For now, anyway, what progress does Nagy want to see from Fields over the next few weeks with training camp coming up next?
Yeah, great question. What's up, MJ, MJD, Cliff? Great to be with you guys. Unwavering in terms of the starting quarterback, but a great question by you, MJ. And Matt Nagy, the head coach, continues to get asked questions, of course, with all of the allure surrounding the 11th overall pick in Justin Fields. And what does he want to see? He wants to see incremental improvement. The plan is in place, barring any unforeseen circumstances. They are not changing quarterbacks. There's no competition. There's no controversy with the Bears. Andy Dalton is starting week 1. What does that progress mean? It means tempo in and out of the huddle, the result of plays that he runs, how he bounces back from the good and the bad. But it goes back to what he said. I like the term. And it's rhythmically speaking the play to his teammates in the huddle. So an example of that, you guys, one of his assignments for Fields, get a device, record the play calls into it, and send it to us coaches ahead of training camp. So they can kind of examine how he is developing that. And I asked Fields about that today. What does that look like? How do you describe it? He said it is really the most important change for him. It's not necessarily the play that's being called, he said, or the reads within it, but how it's delivered. Ohio State, he reminded me, those plays, guys, came in from the sideline. They were signaled from the sideline. He's getting those plays into his earpiece now. And so that is a huge part of his development, and he is going over that script habitually to get ready for training camp.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a learning curve, no doubt, Stacey. And Cliff, I mean, you heard Stacey say it right there. There's no controversy. This is what it is right now. But from your perspective, what would Justin Fields need to do in order to be that Bears starting QB?
Well, you know what? You guys kind of just touched on it, right? Learning the offense, learning the NFL, learning what it looks like to be a pro. So to me, I think if he sits a couple weeks, there's nothing wrong with that because that allows him to learn. As everybody knows, MJD, you know this as well, right? There's a difference between practice reps and game time reps. When them things get to flying and people get to actually moving fast, it's different. So being able to see it, being able to watch that, being able to understand what it looks like to be a pro, I think is huge for his career from a longevity standpoint.
So I have to say this because it's funny, and I forgot to bring this up on our call before earlier in the day. I forgot my time with the Raiders when Matt Schaub was the starting quarterback and Dennis Allen was like, Matt Schaub's the guy. He's going to be the guy no matter what. And I remember sitting next to JJ after week 4. We played the Seahawks. It was a night game in Oakland at O.co. And Derek Carr went crazy. I'm talking about 4 touchdowns. He had the offense rolling, all these different things. And JJ came to me and he sat right next to me. He nudged me. He said, you know Carr's the starting quarterback, right? I was like, get out of here. And 5 minutes later, Dennis Allen came up in front of all of us and was like, so I talked to Matt Schaub, but we're going to go with Derek. Derek's going to be the starter. And it's all about what he brings. And I say that to say Justin Fields is more exciting. And Stacey, correct me if I'm wrong, this coaching staff is on the hot seat. They need to come out and win right away. Yes, they went to the playoffs. They're one and done. But all we've heard is Matt Nagy on the hot seat. The Mitchell Trubisky experiment didn't work. Now you have another quarterback. Most coaches don't get 2 quarterbacks. Most GMs don't get 2 quarterbacks. So you have to go out there right now. And if Justin Fields shows any type of excitement or ability to be able to play, like we heard some of the receivers talk about when they throw the ball, they smile. He has to go out there because you owe that to the